We are here once more for another live session. This time around, I try to improve it a bit. You guys should be able to see the live chat going on screen right now. And well, that's it. Hopefully, a few people will join. This was kind of, I didn't advertise much that I was gonna go live, so well, it is what it is. I'm here now, and hopefully there is a bunch of my subscribers roaming through YouTube. They're gonna see my live. I want to talk about a few things. First of all, there are a few. Actually, there are a bunch of bikes coming out for 2020, and some are interesting, some are not that interesting. So let's see what's going on around. One thing that I want to talk about, and I actually want your opinion on it, is I don't know if you guys have watched Ewan McGregor and Charlie Bowman go around with BMW's GSs, doing travel all over the globe. This time around, they're doing another one, but they're using Harley Davidson Livewire, which is kind of puzzling. I don't understand the choice. Harley Davidson is, first of all, it's a cruiser. Second of all, the technology to use an electric bike to go around the world, it's really not there yet. So it's, I don't know. I don't understand why they chose the Harley, the Livewire. I do know that apparently they're using two bikes each, and they're being followed by a van, so that they, as soon as they get to the end of their travel, at the end of the battery, they can actually swap bike. And I don't know, I don't know, if you want to go around the world and you want to show that you can travel with those bikes, it should be just the bike. I understand a support vehicle because they have a ton of cameras, microphones. I see it myself. I mean, in my little when I go somewhere to shoot a video, I have a backpack that is 30 kilos worth of stuff between cameras, microphone, tripods, and whatever clamps to attach my GoPros to the bike and to other things. So I understand having a vehicle like they did in those previous travel. What I don't understand is having a vehicle just to follow you with another bike so you can swap on. You guys let me know what you think. I think that's it kind of took away from what they're trying to do, you know, but it is what it is. On a positive side, because 2020 is near and a bunch of bikes are coming out. As a matter of fact, Ducati has their live event, I believe October 23rd, which I'm obviously going to be watching. Because 2020 is near, there are a bunch of bikes coming out from all sorts of manufacturers. Now, because the Euro 5 certification for the motorcycle, which undoubtedly is a pain for manufacturers, it actually might be an advantage for us, the riders, because for us, Euro 5 means that most manufacturers are going to increase the engine capacity of their bike. They're going to meet higher safety standard, and we're going to reap the benefits. As a matter of fact, most bikes coming out in 2020 that were actually already out in 2018, so the new model are all bumped up about 100cc. We have the first chat here, Z Customs Garage. Hey man, all the way from Italy, if I'm not wrong. Am I wrong? Am I confusing you with somebody else? But so anyway, so we're gonna get a whole bunch of new bikes, all with bigger engine and more power. And more power is usually always good. Now, the among the Japanese manufacturer, let's start with the Japanese manufacturer. Are you guys yes, you guys are getting, finally you guys are getting the live chat on screen. So for those that don't have the chat up, they can actually see it on my screen. I lost my my line of thought. Hey Z Custom, stay tuned because I'm gonna reveal my favorite pizza in the States. And I'm gonna piss off a bunch of people, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, the big Japanese four, they're all gonna pretty much maintain what they already have. So Kawasaki is gonna come out with an updated version of all their bikes. One thing to look for on a Kawasaki, there is a talk of a naked bike with the H2 engine, supercharged or turbocharged, whatever the H2 is. So we gotta definitely take a look at Kawasaki. Hey Michelangelo, how's it going? Thanks for joining us. And Africa Twin, I'm gonna get there. Let me get the other two Japanese manufacturers out of the way. Then we're gonna talk about the Africa Twin. So other than that, most of the other, the Yamaha and Suzuki are coming out with updated version of their bikes. They're also adding to the line, I believe, that what's trendy right now. So those resto mod that are really going for people, I guess. So we can look out for that. What we really need to look for is Honda. Honda is going to update all their regular bikes because they always do. But there is the new Honda Africa Twin coming out in 2020. Now, no, I didn't know that Kawasaki bought Bimota. That might be good for Bimota. Thank you, Michelangelo. I appreciate it. And as I always say, I consider you almost a producer of my YouTube channel because you're helping quite a bit. But going back to the Honda, I just watched a bunch of videos from Honda Canada and so on. And the new Africa Twin looks fantastic. First of all, they increased the engine power, the engine size, and went to 1100, which it's a nice engine. 1100 Honda, it's quite a nice engine. Second of all, they added a whole new batch of electronics. So now the complaints with the old Africa Twin were pretty much the electronics. You know, you couldn't shut off the ABS completely up front, and the display was a little dated. It was LCD. This time around, it looks like they stuck a giant iPad mini up front. One of the things that kind of bothers me, they only integrated Apple CarPlay into it. So kind of, if you have Android, you are kind of screwed. And I have Android, so I'm kind of screwed because I really like that Honda. On top of that, they have electronic suspensions now as an option. As always, if I buy one of those kind of bike, I'm looking for the lightest version that I can. So The ES version with the bigger tank, it's not really my thing. But they also added electronic suspensions. Which electronic suspensions are good? All the bikes I tried electronic suspensions on are for a normie, let's call it normie like me, for somebody that doesn't want to go there with tools and adjust and figure stuff out. With the electronic suspension, you just push a button and that you have a setup for whatever you're doing. They have riding modes, lots of riding modes, and 2 user modes that you can actually adjust and set up for what you like best, you know. And I'm kind of a techie. I like all those gizmos going on. As a matter of fact, when I got the Multistrada 950S, I was ecstatic that now they have the colorful TFT display and all those other gizmos and tricks in there. So I'm very, very excited for the Africa Twin. As I said, I watched most of their videos online, and they always toss on it some pro doing power slides and doing outrageous jumps and going in incredible terrain. I'm really curious to see what somebody like me can do with a bike like that. Is it going to be better than my F800 GS when it comes to rough terrain, or is it just going to be on par? It's not going to be really necessary for me to upgrade. I don't know. Unfortunately, they always toss in a pro, and what a pro can do with a bike that big, it's not really what somebody like me can do. And when I say somebody like me, I'm not talking about somebody that has zero knowledge about off-roading, because now I've been riding the F800 for a little while, but somebody that is riding there, not really a novice, but at the same time, I'm far from being a pro. I'm far from being anything close to a pro. So still, as you guys can see on the screen, that Africa Twin, it looks pretty good. I mean, even if you don't like Honda, you gotta admit that bike looks the part. It really does. We'll see. I hope I can get my hands on one of them and see how it goes. really see how it goes. But moving on towards actually, before we move on, there is one thing I have to say about the Africa Twin that also left kind of a bad taste in my mouth. They went with tube tire, so tube rims, so you can't use tubeless tires. And I understand tubes are better off-road, because they are. Unfortunately, when you go on a long trip and you have street tires, having the option to plug your tire in case you get a flat, plug it right there and then. To plug a tire literally takes 5 minutes on the road. And by making the rims non-tubeless, you just took that away from us. So now I gotta get another Audex kit and do another kit on those rims to see how they do. The old Africa Twin, Michelangelo, the old Africa Twin compared to the 850 are right there. If you get the 850 with all the bells and whistle, which BMW makes you pay dearly for, then I might argue that the F850 it's better. On the other hand, if you buy the basic 850 and now you don't have a TFT display, and now you don't have electronic suspensions, and now you don't have a whole bunch of stuff, the only thing that comes standard is pretty much going to be the heated grips. Well, at that point, I don't know, the Africa Twin, it costs less. It seems to be proven off-road. So, every time we look at those comparisons out there on the internet, I watch it on YouTube, by the way. So if there is a comparison on motorcycle and whatever else, I probably watched it. Every time they do that, BMW provides the top of the line. And so does Honda. But the base model to the top model on Honda, it's kind of closer than the base model on BMW and the top model on BMW price-wise. The basic 850, I believe, is around what, 14, something like that. And once you start adding all the options, it goes up. It goes up quite a bit. Now we're talking about 17, 18, and then taxes, this and that. It starts to be a substantial expense. So that's a tough question. I would have to actually write them both. I speak with Pierre from Pierre's ADV. It's another Italian guy that has a channel on YouTube, and he has an Africa Twin and he loves it. On the other hand, I have an old F800 GS and I love it. So it's kind of difficult. The new Africa Twin, I'm afraid that it's going to be better than the F800 GS. But we'll see. Michelangelo is saying that the new ES version has tubeless available. If that's the case, great, because tubeless, it's the way to go, really. But anyway, sorry if it takes me a little bit of time to reply to your messages out there. There is quite a bit of a delay. It's somewhere like 10 seconds delay between when I'm talking and when the message actually pops up. So sorry about that. I'm gonna try to improve. I'm really trying to improve those live videos, because I enjoy talking to you guys a lot. And there are guys that are constantly there, like Michelangelo, Z Custom, Lee, Robbie. Those are really there. So much so that I know their names. So, and I really appreciate it, because little by little we're getting up there. And as I always say, the more subscribers, subscribe now, by the way, if you're not subscribed yet, give a like. The more subscriber, the better the channel is doing, the more I can give towards the channel itself and make it grow. I have a day job, so my mortgage is paid my day job. So anything that comes through the channel is going to go right back into the channel. So it's going to get better. Other than that, let's see. I made notes because I can't remember everything. Come on. So the last thing I want to say about the Africa Twin is that now you have 100 horses and 105 newton meters when it comes to torque, which are pretty good numbers. As a matter of fact, most of those other bikes that have a bigger engine that go off-road, like a Multistrada, right now I can think the KTM 1290 or 1190, they all have a map that reduces the torque, or that reduces the power down to 100 horses. So 100 horsepower seems to be the magic number to go off-road and be able to do anything you need to do. So now there is also, I also have to say that the new electronics that Honda tossed into the Africa Twin, it's really impressive. There is literally they threw the kitchen sink at that thing. So it's gonna be really, really hard not to get one, guys. It looks great, great electronics, and those pros SOBs that drive it around and do those power slides and jumps and stuff, they make it look really, really good and really, really fun. But I wonder what the price might be. But let's move on to the European manufacturers. What we love on this channel, because they're quirky, they're halfway reliable, and all those other things. One of my favorite, BMW, they're coming out with a whole bunch of updated models. There is a rumor of an F850 RS, which is supposed to look like a small S1000 XR. That might actually be a great bike for the European market, because I know street-oriented enduro are really, really popular over there, and having an engine that is not the 1000cc, it actually helps with insurance, registration, and all those other fees that they pay over there. Over there goes according to the power of the bike. So having something a little smaller is gonna sell very, very well. They also, this is not, none of this is confirmed. Those are all rumors that I saw browsing the internet, watching videos and stuff like that. Apparently, they also are working on updating the S1000 XR. They're gonna update the way it looks and pretty much a whole bunch of all-round update, because as I said, Euro 5 is gonna make those manufacturers add so much stuff to it that they need to compensate and to maintain the same power, that most likely all of them are gonna have to increase the size of their engine, and hopefully there is some extra power that we can get. This time around I brought water. Otherwise I'm here yapping, and when I'm done with this, I'm like all with my dry throat and stuff, so I got water. Now, I'm a big fan of the S1000 XR. I reviewed one and I kept it for a few days and I loved it. I loved it almost as much as I loved the Multistrada. The Multistrada has that Ducati effect that compounds on top of what you can do with the Multistrada itself, but the S1000 XR is an excellent bike. It's just like the S1000R and the S1000RR. They're literally laser sharp, fast, capable, which it sounds weird when I say it, but that might be their downfall. Because if you're not into that laser sharpness for the bike, you might actually not want to look at something like that. Where when I had the S1000RR, when you're doing the speed limit 70-80, it feels like you're standing still. You literally want to kick out the side stand and get off the bike, because you might think you're literally stopped, but you're not. You're doing 70-80 mile an hour, which is quite a bit. So to literally get a sense of to get the adrenaline pumping, you gotta be triple digits, and triple digits are really, really dangerous on the street. So that was my biggest problem. While when you ride a V4 like the Aprilia or the new Panigale, that V4 engine, that noise, that sound, that vibration, it kind of helps making your adrenaline pump and get you up there. So, but New stuff are coming. I saw a few prototypes from BMW. They remind of the bikes of the past, but with new engines and stuff. But I'm pretty sure the one I saw, I'm pretty sure is gonna be uber expensive because it was a piece of art almost. So MV Agusta, same as before, they're gonna update all of what they got. As we all know, MV Agustas are a small manufacturer, so they do what they can. Their bikes look amazing. Reliability wise, I didn't hear good things about it. But on the other hand, I didn't hear good things about the Aprilias as well, and I own one. Never had a problem with it. So it is what it is, and we'll see what they come out with. Their bikes are fantastic bikes. They look great. They go like the wind. Unfortunately, sometimes they do have a few problems. But moving on, KTM. When it comes to KTM, other than obviously their bikes being great, when it comes to KTM, the bike I'm actually excited about is a 390 Adventure that they're gonna come out with. Now, let me put something down. Their 790 Adventure, I don't like at all. When we buy a bike, we do want a capable bike, but we also want a bike that is somewhat cool to look at. And the 790, it's really cool to look at from here up. The fact that they put the tank down there, come on. When you put the tank at the very bottom of the bike, yes, you're lowering the center of gravity, which makes the bike more maneuverable and undoubtedly better. The problem is now it's down there. The bike is super wide on the bottom, and you got the fuel tank. A bad crash, a fall in between the rocks, or something like that. That is gonna. The first thing that you're gonna hit is the fuel tank. I really don't understand. If there are other ways, I'm sure. I'm not an engineer, so I'm kind of stretching myself here. But I'm pretty sure there are other ways to lower the CG and putting the tank down there. I think they could have done something else. Now, since we're talking about reliability, I got a comment from one of you that his name is Sphinx number 1 or something like that. Apparently, he bought an Aprilia TUONO and had to, in a 9 months period, he had to tow the bike to the dealer 7 times or something like that. He had a ton of problems. He had to sell the bike because he couldn't deal with it anymore. And he's saying he bought a Street Triple, and he's super happy with the Street Triple right now, or a Street Triple. That sucks because I can tell you the Aprilias are fairly reliable. I had no problem whatsoever with it. And all the people I talked to, and I spoke with a few people that own TUONOs and RSV4, none of those guys had any problems. So the fact that he ended up getting a lemon. It sucks. It really does, because it's gonna drag the Aprilia name down, and word of mouth, it's pretty powerful. Tell you the truth. So anyway, I'm really sorry. I wish those things wouldn't happen, but unfortunately, sometimes they happen, and they'll really scar people so much that them and all their friends are not going to get Aprilias anymore. That really sucks. Anyway, moving on. Triumph is updating all their line, obviously, because Euro 4 again, and but I don't think there is anything new coming out. At least I haven't heard anything. If you guys heard anything, just let me know. Put a comment down below. Let me know. I'm always interested. I like Triumph. I like them a lot. I don't know if it's because they're an English brand and if they feel exotic to me. So let me know if they're coming out with anything else. And now, talking about one of what came to be one of my favorite brands, Ducati. I'm a MotoGP fan. I follow MotoGP. I like Dovizioso. I like Petrucci. I like the way the Ducati make you feel when you ride him around, and I obviously love the way they look. See, for example, Z Custom, among all his supermotos, because I did take a look at your channel, and you got some fun videos. Actually, guys, go take a look at it. He also has a TUONO, and he loves it. So, you know, all the people that own a TUONO and don't have problem end up loving it deeply, while some people, like the guy Sphinx number one, like the other YouTuber, what's his name, Cycle Cruiser, they have problem. And in the case of Cycle Cruiser, he has a lot of followers. So if he has a problem and then puts it on the internet, that's bad for Aprilia. It really is. But we said we were talking about Ducati. Let's talk about Ducati. They're gonna do their streaming video October 23rd. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna see if I'm not working. That day, I'm actually going to tape my reaction to what they unveil. They're going to unveil a ton of bikes, I heard. And the one that I'm most nervous about is the Street Fighter. I'm a big fan of the Street Fighter. I loved the way the older Street Fighter looks. So I'm really nervous. I hope the bike looks somewhat similar to what I've seen in those renderings, the one that raised up Pikes Peak. Do I have a problem with it? If you look at the silhouette, it kind of looks like a Z1000 from Kawasaki. So that's kind of a turn down. The elongated beak up front, also the maybe a KTM 1290 Super Duke with the old version of it with the pointy elongated beak. But we'll see what they come out with, because those are race fairings, and we'll see. I'm excited, a little nervous, because I'm a really big fan. And maybe no, I kind of love the TUONO. I can't really, I don't really see myself getting something else, replacing the TUONO with something else for now. Never say never, but we'll see. Among the novelty that Ducati is going to come out with, I heard that the 959 Panigale this time around, other than having a different name, it might be called the V2 Panigale. I heard they're going to put single-sided swing arm on it. And single-sided swing arm are going to piss off a whole bunch of people that bought the previous Panigale. The single-sided swing arm, it looks way better than the double-sided swing arm. As I said multiple times, I wouldn't use a single-sided swing arm to go off-road necessarily. So the little Multistrada, the 950, the double-sided swing arm, actually, it's understandable. It's a little more stable, cheaper. So I see it there. But the 950 with a single-sided swing arm might be a big contender when it comes to people choosing the 950 or the big Panigale. I understand in the United States, 90% of the time is bigger is better. But most other places around the world, if you have a 959 with a single-sided swing arm and all the electronic bells and whistles, I'm pretty sure most people are gonna opt for the smaller engine, because let's face it, guys, the 959 is not a slow bike whatsoever. If you know what you're doing, you're up there with the big boys. You're up there with the 1300cc motorcycles. The only way those bikes are getting away from you is on a freeway or on a very long straight. Other than that, when it comes to taking turns, you might actually have an advantage over a bigger displacement bike. So, we'll see. Obviously, they're gonna come out with a whole array of scramblers because that's how it goes. You have almost as many scrambler versions that you have the rest of the lineup. They're making scramblers for anything. I mean, I like the scrambler. I personally could do without. But as I said in my previous vlog, the scrambler has its place if you don't stop at if you just don't stop at the basic model. If you buy the scrambler and you start modifying with very little money, you can actually achieve incredible results. The one that I have in the garage right now that I didn't quite like before doing the handlebar replacement. Right now, I freaking love going around with it. It's nice, it's noisy, has the right riding position for me. So I see why people like it. And the new model that come out, the Cafe Racer, the Desert Sled, they look pretty good to begin with. So I understand why Ducati is pushing the scrambler this much. I also wish they put their enthusiasm in the rest of the lineup. They put all the effort that they're going with on the scrambler on the rest of the lineup, rather than just come out with a 12 with a Panigale V4, and then from that point on just go with this is the Tricolore version. This is the Corsa version, where they just change the paint scheme and call it good, But what do I know? What do I know? One thing, I'm kind of excited. I heard that they're actually gonna come with a come out with a super sport with bigger engine. If I had to choose between a Panigale and a super sport, I would go with the super sport when it comes to comfort and look, but the engine is really not there. I would go with the Panigale, obviously, because of the ridiculous engine that the back has. But to me, the super sport look great with that the flawless fairing, no rivets, no screws. It's kind of good. The only thing I don't quite like of the way the bike looks is the rear seat. The rear seat looks like an afterthought. But let's see. If you guys see me lean that way, it's because I have the chat open and I can take a look at what you guys are saying. Yeah. So yes, well, just like any naked bike, you know. I am you got a bike with 200 horses or anything north of 170, 180. It's a lot of power, and once you put it on the street with no protection from the fairing to keep you on it, that a bike that light is hard to stop, and it's really easy to send going really quick. So yeah, I agree with you. It's almost suicide to take one of those. But I just realized you guys do not speak Italian. So I'm reading Z Custom's comments. In his latest comment, he says that the only problem with the new Street Fighter might be the fact that it's so powerful that it could be a suicide to ride it on the street. But anyway, so we're gonna see Ducati is gonna do their usual reveal. And very excited, very excited. Now, I said that I would tell you guys what my favorite pizza is here in the States. You guys ready? I don't know if you guys can take it. This is gonna be a shock for many people, especially for Z Custom over there, because my favorite pizza here in the States. Little Caesar. I know. Who would have thought? The way I see it, pizza here is so different from the pizza in Italy that at the very least, this thing is decent and cheap and quick to pick up. So. If I want to see, I want to see how many comments are gonna come out of this, because hey, it is what it is. I get ostracized. See, there he is. Z Custom is asking if there is pineapple on it. I have to admit, I actually like pineapple on pizza. Oh, this is not gonna be nice. The comment section below is not going to be nice. Look, It is what it is. I like what I like. And there's nothing you guys can do. I'm not forcing the pineapple pizza on anybody. Ananas, as we call it in Italy. But I'm sorry. I like it. We lost Z Custom. He said he's gonna unsubscribe right now. Well, you shouldn't, cause I'm here to try stuff for you. I'm eating the pineapple so you don't have to. This is a hard mission. Somebody's got to do it, and I'm here making the tough choices. Jokes apart, it is what it is. Could be worse. Because there are worse pizzas out there. You guys that if you live in Italy and you come to the States, come take a look. Well, order pizza here. But my suggestion is don't expect the same as in Italy, because the pizza here is different. Even those authentic Italian restaurants where the pizza costs an arm and a leg, they kind of have to make the flavor appeal to people. So it is what it is. If I have to eat pizza that is not like the Italian pizza, as I said, I might as well get cheap one and quick. Speaking of Italian stuff, I made a video on how to make coffee, and I'm actually, since Z Custom, I hope he's still with us. I see a bunch of viewers just drop out of the live. I challenge you to make a video on how to make coffee. Mine is gonna come out next week, next Friday, so stay tuned for that. And nothing. As you guys can see, I try to take the TUONO. I'm jumping all over the place this time around, am I? Yes, I am. And that's just the way it goes. I took the TUONO to a dry lake, the same place where I took the F800GS. When I took the F800GS, there was July. It was completely dry, and it was super hard packed, so much so that I could do a speed run on it. Took the F800GS to the max speed, which with a lower sprocket up front that I have, with knobby tires, I was able to get to 123 mile an hour pegged. It wouldn't go anymore. Might be able to get another 1 or 2 mile an hour if I just kept going, but after a while you're like, what am I doing? And I can tell you this much, with knobby tires on it at 123 miles an hour, the bike started giving me the handlebar shake. So anyway, I took the Aprilia over there because I wanted to try to do a speed run with the Aprilia and see how fast I would be able to go. Unfortunately, it rained a few days prior, so all those I don't know if you guys can see on the image, all those cracks. This is one of the flattest part of the dry lake I could find. Most of the rest of the dry lake, those cracks at the edge raised up, so even at 50 60 mile an hour, the bike was incredibly unstable. So I was like, yeah, this is not gonna happen today. So I took a few good pictures and call it a day, which sucked because I really wanted to try, and I wanted to see for how long I can sustain a wheelie. And unfortunately, when I try to pop the wheelie, the rear tire would just slide and do a burnout instead of coming up. Try to clutch it, and nothing. It was unpredictable. It would hook 1 minute and it would slide the next. So if you're not quick with your rear brake or clutching back in, the bike either would not come out at all or would come out way too fast. So that wasn't that didn't go well as well as I thought. As I said, when I went there with F800 GS, I was actually able to pop a few wheelies with the F800 GS and keep it up going for a while, because it was so solid it almost felt like concrete. This time around it didn't. So I'm gonna try again, but winter is coming, the season is almost ended, so we'll see what comes out of it. But yeah, I really want to see what that Aprilia is capable of in the hands of somebody like me. You know, I know what the bike can do with a pro on it. I'm not quite sure what the bike can do with me on it. So anyway, we're almost done for this live, because as you guys know, I try to keep it around an hour. And before we call it a day, I want to address a few comments that I want to reply. And replying by voice, it's easier, and I can be more detailed than actually reply with just a message. So I'm gonna see if I can actually put it up. I doubt it, but we'll see if I can put it up on the screen. Bear with me. I'm telling you, in a few. Yeah, no. He said that I can go F myself, and it's not gonna work for me right now. Yay. Anyway, I'm gonna read it to you. I have a message from Archel Vardiz something. He's asking how the gearbox of the Scrambler is behaving, because he has a problem with his Scrambler that is kind of harsh and it clunks. As far as it goes on my Scrambler, the gearbox is it's nearly perfect. I catch a false neutral between 5th and 6th gear if I'm not very assertive with it, but other than that, it's really good. It clunks in, well, it clunks. The gears go in nice and easy, and with a very positive click. So I had no problems. If any of you out there watching this video had any problems with the Scrambler gearbox, please leave a message, and hopefully Archel will be able to look at the comments and see if somebody else had the same problem he did, and what the solution was. Moving on, still with Archel, is talking about the video I just made about the Scrambler. Is telling me that I keep forgetting about the cafe racer. It's not that I keep forgetting about the cafe racer. In the video, I was just trying to talk about the first 4 basic models that came out. The cafe racer came out a little after, and And Cafe Racer is a pretty beautiful bike. So anyway, I didn't forget about the Cafe Racer. It's just not what I was talking about. I was talking about the main four that right now are probably what. How many scramblers are out there? Because every time I go to Ducati on Newport Beach, they have half of the shop full of scramblers. They all look different, so I'm not even quite sure how many of them are out there. But I have Silvio Sirianni asking me to do mods on a multistrada. I would absolutely love to get my hands on the multistrada. There are a few bikes that I want to get my hands on, and the multistrada is definitely one of them. We'll see, maybe in the future. As it is right now, unfortunately, I can't justify adding bike number 5 over there, and also the multistrada doesn't quite fit my lineup. If you guys remember what I got in the garage, it's a dirt bike, a Yamaha YZ, so purely to go off-road. And by the way, that dirt bike made me improve my skill off-road and popping wheelies a lot. So I highly recommend, if you can afford a $1,000 dirt bike and you want to improve your wheelie game and your off-road game, get one, because your progress with a big enduro, your progress is kind of steady like this. With a dirt bike, your off-road progress and your wheelie capability and your wheelie oh my god, and you be getting good at doing wheelies, it's literally, it's going to increase so much in such a short time. So if you get a chance, go. But going back to the multistrada, if there is any multistrada around here, Southern California, there is anybody that owns a multistrada down here in Southern California, you want to do a bunch of mods to it, well, get in touch and let's see what we can do. Let's see. Yeah, I guess it's YA. Yeah, still talking about the Scrambler, is saying that the Scrambler is better than the GS off-road because I'm assuming because it's lower. Look, however you look at it, even the Desert Sled, it's definitely not good, better than an F800 GS or an F850 GS off-road. If you take the 1200 off-road, I might agree, because the 1200 is gigantic. As much as BMW keep pushing these 1260 GS Rally as this great off-road machine, the bike is heavy, it's wide on the bottom. Come on, let's be serious. The R1250, R1200 GS can do it. They're not great at it. The F800, F850 GS are good. If you add good knobby tires on it, are good. I took my 800 in places where I thought I'll never come out of it, and the bike did. As a matter of fact, when I went with a friend of mine off-roading, he had the Yamaha TW, one of those. He was looking at what I was doing with the F800 and was like, how are you doing that on that big of a bike? Because it is big, but in the end, it's not as big as it seems, if that makes sense. So, sorry, no, the Scrambler is not, it's not better than a GS off-road. At least it's not better of the mid GS. But anyway, yes, there you go. I have a Sonic 747. Now that I think about it, is that an airplane? You pilot? If you are, sorry. Just kidding. He was commenting on the video where I changed the scrambler battery, telling me to use a shorter screwdriver because of the chance of sparks going to fly. I think he's referring, because I'm using a regular size screwdriver and I'm unscrewing the terminals out there, I think he's referring to the fact that I might touch the frame and get sparks flying. But if you actually look the way I do things, I remove the negative first, and the negative is what gives the frame, the ground power. So once you unplug the negative on the battery, there is nothing there, obviously. And the same thing when I put the battery back, I did the positive first and then the ground later, because if when I'm messing with the ground wire I touch the frame or anything other metallic part on the bike, well, it's the same current, so it's negative on negative, it's not going to spark. But as always, I'm not a mechanic, I'm just an enthusiast when it comes to that. So that is it. Let's see, and that's it with the comments. I really wanted to talk about it. If you guys that are watching this right now have any question, this is the time to come up with. And as always, subscribe and like, because the more you subscribe and like, the better it's gonna be. We're getting pretty close to 7,000 subscribers. We are 300 and some shy of 7,000. So if you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe. Other than that, there you go. It seems like you guys have no questions for me right now. So as always, if you like this video, like. If you love this video, subscribe. Check out next week my new video on how to make authentic Italian coffee. And right on, dirt on, and I'll see you next time. As always, this is a lot of fun, and I'll see you all guys soon. Thanks for stopping by, and stay off the ground, I guess. See you later.